Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Joshi, the little we're getting a little dance party going on. Is that what?
It's the last game, Sierra. We gotta keep ourselves vibing, you know.
Yo,
Okay.
I'm feeling it. Kumo's feeling it. It's just been a good time. I love seeing my favorite champion pop off. If this is your first time you've seen me, Nara's been my most played champion every year since 2015. So I love seeing when Nara does well, and even though I don't think he's the strongest champion right now, it still just makes me feel fuzzy.
Yeah, we know. We all know. Don't worry.
Makes you feel some other kind of way too. But, you know.
Oh my God.
Okay. No. I am so sorry for bringing this up. Okay, let's move on into our halftime segment. Normally we do a little game show or a skit for this, but we're gonna chill out. It's the end of a long day. We're getting ready for the weekend, so this is just called Then and Now. We're gonna take a moment to reflect on a couple of these players' journeys back to when they started and they were just little League of Legends noobs, maybe trying to, that's a little copium for myself to do better about my own gameplay skills. To check in where they were and where they are now. A nice little history lesson too for those who are maybe not as familiar with the roots that these players have. So it'll be cute. This is the time to get your popcorn and just vibe and have a good time. Guys ready?
I love vibing and having a good time. I'm ready.
Go. All right, to start off, we are going to be looking at Acadian. So, I mean, a lot of these players on both the teams have quite a history.
Oh, dude, it's Apex.
Yeah, this is way back. And this is the one game they
Dude, it's
won
Youngbin.
versus Apex in the
it is
spring
Youngbin.
semis.
And Fabi.
Zig is here too. Dude, Fabi was the gatekeeper Draven. Or like, if you wanted to get into Challenger, you had to get through Fabi's Draven. And if you couldn't get through him, then you didn't deserve to be in Challenger back in the day. But that was Acadian killing it on the Nidalee back then. Started out as, I feel like a lot of junglers, when they come up through the Challenger scene, they're always playing something like, they're a Lee Sin specialist, they're a Nidalee specialist, maybe they're like a Rengar or a Kha'Zix specialist too. Some type of jungler that can just really take over the game by yourself.
Yeah, and we know that Matthew Higginbottom has great opportunities to play through. That was only 2016, right? His career goes way further back. He was playing as early as 2014. So seeing him continuing to have opportunities to play 8 years later, still very cool.
I appreciate that going to the first clip, I wasn't sure how the reactions were going to be, but you guys acted like somebody just busted out a full
We remember
old
these
photo
guys.
album.
We grew up with
and you're
them.
looking back at, maybe the middle school yearbook or just all these old fit. It's very cute. It was good stuff. All right. So next person we're going to be looking at, I mean, this is a newer addition to the GG roster. We're going to be looking back at Prismal. So what's fun about these two clips is they're both Yasuo games, but a big difference between them. One being Yasuo bot and the other nowadays in Academy, Yasuo support.
Yeah, and this one's a bit more recent, right? That was 2019, Prismal having an opportunity to play, so it's not quite as old school nostalgic, but even just saying that makes me kind of feel like a boomer because of how fast the esports world moves, you know?
Yeah, and I think that was Prismal's debut year in the Academy scene. And while the clip we saw was spring, it wasn't until summer where Prismal won his first ever, and I think his only Academy title with 100 Thieves. So, and he got the MVP for the match as well.
It was the Academy debut, and I mean, you can see even just between the two clips, like the difference in how he's choosing to engage and stuff. So you get to see that growth, and yes, 2019 isn't as old as a couple of the other clips that we have, but being able to see that growth from the beginning of Academy to now in Academy, now being reintroduced to into GG is nice, So next one, we do have to talk about the FlyQuest players as well, give them some of the love. And next off, Josie, you're going to be very happy about this one. We're going to be talking about Tomo.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, he had a great game in this last one. What do we got? 2018.
He was Shiro back then on Cloud9 Academy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
I didn't get a chance to read all the other names, but I was I was trying to figure out like when it happened, who he was playing with, but the Cloud9 Academy roster for a long time was quite dominant. I remember Shiro was one of the names that we always kind of looked at as potentially a player that could move themselves up to LCS, and even now, recently coming back down with games like that, if he continues to have success, maybe he can find his way back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I first started watching Academy more closely, I knew Shiro was in the same time that Magical and Cage were the main casters for the Cloud9 broadcast. So that was 2019 spring,
Rip
if
Cage.
I'm not mistaken. The Cloud.
He's alive. He's alive. Don't worry.
And
He's just doing acting now instead.
yeah, dude, good for Cage, man. But also, like, to see that Shiro came in as such a hot prospect, and then he went through quite the journey, bouncing around between, I think, one of
I got the
EG's
list for you.
first. Oh yeah, please,
Ooh.
please.
Yeah. So he played LCS and Academy for EG, Fly, and C9. So that is definitely a
There you go.
trifecta that he's got going on there.
Yeah.
And so it's a nice little, I mean, to have that sort of list of accomplishments is absolutely insane. So for our last clip, our last little journey down memory lane, definitely making sure we're getting a bit of an older clip for this one. We are going to be going back to 2015, checking
Okay.
in with Diamond.
Oh,
known as,
yeah.
I think it's pronounced Teaser
jeez.
back
It's
here.
Arc Second. Oh my god,
A Zingy?
dude.
Look at that. He's playing a Pantheon.
Hey, ThinkCard is
West
still
Rise.
playing at this.
Wait, that's their coach.
Yeah, it's their coach West Rice and ThinkCard. Half of the players or coaches. Dude, Stixie's here as well. So like half of these people became coaches at some point. I remember
Yeah,
Arc Second.
that's wild.
He had a
Yeah.
banger stream when he was coming up in the scene.
Kind of wild, right? Because Diamond has had a couple of different names that he's gone by, right? Teaser and I don't even know how to say it, but Cabigon,
Oh,
Cabigon.
yeah.
But David Berube still having opportunities to find play at this point, and we're still seeing like in games like this where they're able to turn around unfortunate laning phases as giving me a lot of hope for the way that Diamond plays. We know he's incredibly smart, and just as we saw half the players previously already have become coaches at this point, Diamond has expressed as well that at some point he would like to become a coach too.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the last two players we just saw, Diamond and Kumo, they were on the Cloud9 Academy roster together at the same time. And I think that roster in spring of 2019, they won Academy that time. I think that full roster was Shiro. I think Blabber had already been either promoted or was thinking about being promoted. Golden Glue was there, and then Tomo Diamond. I think Tomo was still on the Cloud9 roster, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. Yeah, no, there was Blabber, and it was Deftly is what it's looking like to me
definitely.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and Keith at different points, right? They had a lot of different players
Dude,
rotate through
I
that
love-
Cloud9 Academy roster.
I love League of Legends history, man, because it really goes to show you how rich the stories that we have, and that we've been playing this game for almost 12 years now, and so we've got quite the track record of how many players have come in and out of the system through all those years.
You two
I know
are
people
so
younger than this game.
You two are so like fawning over the history and all these players, which is so nice. So I'm really glad that we got to go down memory lane. I didn't even have time to drop the little fun facts that I had for a lot of them, including the ones for Diamond, which I do actually want to say because
Yeah.
I think they are pretty interesting. Both one in terms of the growth, the second one's just kind of a little bit of a BM fun fact. But the fact that he used to play mid and ADC, like previously back, there was one of the clips where he was relying on his support to like kind of kite him in and out of the fights. And then nowadays he was doing that for, his ADC. So that was kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like we're seeing a lot of people play support that used to be in other roles. And I feel like their knowledge, just being able to slot into that role and how
Yeah.
they can see the game a little differently. I have mad respect for that. And then the second little fun fact, didn't win any NACS games on TSM Darkness. So,
Happens.
It is
Miss
what it
that
is.
part. We don't have to remember every part of League of Legends. One part
Oh,
that I did
sorry.
like we saw in that game, I remember this is really old school. I don't remember how many people will still remember this, but Azingi, I mostly remember Azingi in relation to the Odd One, right? The longtime jungler for TSM in the early days of League of Legends. And you would watch Odd One stream, and he had this rivalry with Azingi. And every single time you would watch Odd One go and invade, he would kill Azingi, and he'd be like, Azingi down! Azingi down! We got him!
Oh, Brian. Dude, the Odd One streams were so lit back in the day when Twitch was still kind of young and it just came over from Justin TV, right? And then I think between the Odd One, I'm a Cutie Pie, and of course Tyler One was still coming into his own before the toxicity.
Oh,
the
still
band.
the hotshot era, man.
Oh yeah, actually you're right. The hotshot era. The like him, I'm a Cutie Pie, and Odd One were like the king of League of Legends streams back in the day. Good times.
I'm ready for the League of Legends history podcast to drop between you two, because you two know so much, and it would be a very interesting time. But of course, for history to be made, we got to get through our matches now to see who can make history. But for now, it's actually just time to see if GG can try and take this second game off of FlyQuest. I'm going to send you two off to Champ Select.
Bye, Sierra.
Bye, Sierra. And that's Sierra's send-off for the last time this week.
True. I mean, we are in week 5. We only have 2 more weeks left before we do have a chance to start getting into the Proving Grounds proper. Remember, if you don't feel like you're getting enough League of Legends action, the Proving Grounds circuit qualifiers are still ongoing. There are still plenty more teams to look at, and some of the players that we're seeing, right, Ryoma and Prismal, were most recently playing for Jake's Kittens. Real name, by the way. That is actually what the team was called, and there are some much better team names as well that you can go check out throughout the next couple of weeks.
Shoutouts to DK Crew. Goated name. And you can find all of these teams and keep up with them by going to the @Path to LCS Twitter account. And
got the plug.
Boom. There you go. That's your deliverable. But that is a deliverable I intend, because I want the fan base here in NA League of Legends to follow with the amateur and Path to LCS pipeline, because we have banger games both in Academy and in the amateur ecosystem, and watching those teams is going to be rewarding, because then you'll be seeing them compete against these guys in Proving Grounds in just a few weeks.
And we'll get to see how many of them actually go far, right? There's been an ongoing discussion about like how many teams in the Proving Ground, in the amateur side of the Proving Grounds will still be able to compete. And I feel like 100 Thieves Next is kind of like our go-to like golden child that we have currently in the amateur scene. They didn't do that hot coming into spring, so this is kind of their time for redemption as well. But as we get into that, we do finally have our lock-ins coming through. The Senna going over to Tomo, and Ezreal getting picked up by Array. Pretty standard stuff so far.
This is going to be a safe pick for Array and comboing it with the Karma. So normally we expect that Ezreal lanes are left to their own devices. They can farm from a safe distance, but when you have double range like this, you're looking to establish lane dominance and priority, and that can set up for Acadian to invade. And if you set it up with the Zoe as well, you have triple poke here, Josh.
Yeah, this is three major parts that we remember of the crazy composition that we used to get with Ezreal, Zoe, Jace, and it was just impossible for anybody to try and get under the raw amount of long-range damage they could put out. But FlyQuest now, they know what their job is. They need to get engaged going. It's going to be difficult for Diamond. Diamond is going to be okay at it. Spyrex will have opportunities to try and make it happen, but Yuji and Kumo, now they need to bring some engaged tools, and Golden Guardian's already preventing the major one coming out from Kumo and taking off the Ornn.
Yeah, you need ways to get access to slippery opponents like an Ezreal the later the game goes, because as he gets all of his items, it's a lot of ability haste stacking up, so the Arcane Shift becomes like a 6-7 second cooldown, and because of the way Mystic Shot works with the rest of Ezreal's kit, it can be as short as a 3-second cooldown. And so Ezreal becomes insanely difficult to keep up with, FlyQuest running out of options for reliable engage.
And so we kind of have to look at like what kind of things Kumo likes to do, right? Oftentimes he will not always play the kind of champions that will be very good at getting into the fights, right? The Ornn is kind of the one champion I think of for Kumo as his major engage tools. And so I almost wonder, you know, when you see these heavy poke compositions, one of the other ways you can play into it is you split push against it and you force it to kind of split up its attentions and get more off of the side lanes than you would off of the neutral objectives. But even then, we saw Kumo, he had a huge lead into Tenacity when he played the Tryndamere, and FlyQuest weren't able to capitalize on that up against 100 Thieves.
FlyQuest have gotten rid of some frontline tank options here, mainly for both Acadian and Concept. Golden Guardians, if you are desperate for a frontliner, Xin Zhao works because whenever you pop the Crescent Guard, if you're hitting him outside of that circle, he doesn't get damaged.
This Viego does not solve their engage problems even a little bit. Oh, please?
The UG Kiana special? Dude, please. That would make my entire week. Dude, the Zed pick? I've been asking for both of those champions, the two...
Stream's done. Mark's getting out of here. He was so excited, but now we are stuck with the Viego coming through for UG and the Gnar. This is, you know, we're kind of looking at some of the things that we were looking at with Golden Guardians previously, where they weren't necessarily able to have great ways to get into the fights. They weren't necessarily in a position where they could do much of anything. And Golden Guardians, they have tons of poke to really play through. But Mr. Mark, you doing okay down there? Mr. Mark? He's coming back. Joey? Alright, well, while we wait for Mark to go cry his tears for the rest of it, we are going to be looking into getting into the game for FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians. Sejuani going to be coming through on the top side for Concept, and we go right on back to where we were. It was 2 blacks. Joey, there's only one of us here. Just full screen me at this. Oh! He woke up! You feeling okay, buddy?
I had
Feeling
to...
all right?
I had to make peace with the fact that I got to miss out on a UGZ or Kiana special.
Did you light your incense at the Kiana shrine?
I pressed F and paid my respects to us missing out on a truly a banger to close out our week 5 super week. It's okay. There's a Sejuani for Concept. I guess that's cool.
It's okay. We gotta blame Tomo in particular.
Why do we
It's your
blame
fault,
Tomo?
Because he hovered them.
Oh, so he's the one that baited me. Well,
He's the one.
Damn it. Okay,
Tomo,
well,
we'll have a reckoning soon. Don't worry about it.
it's okay.
You can't take
You know
Mark
what?
away from me that easily.
UG is still playing Viego, and there's always the highlight potential of just grabbing the plethora of champions available to you from the side of Golden Guardians. And for Golden Guardians, there is chance and hope to find a way back and even up the series, looking to double their overall game win score this week. It starts here with our last game of week 5.
And FlyQuest, they're trying to get back to 500, right? They are 12-13, 1 game short of having an even record coming through. And Golden Guardians, you know, they looked okay in the laning phase, right? We saw that Ray and Prismal were finding some advantages, and even here, you know, taking a decent chunk out of Diamond's HP bar before everything starts might help them a little bit if Diamond doesn't have a chance to recall. But Golden Guardians, they didn't have any ways to engage last time, and now they have Sejuani.
That's pretty damn good engage, Josh.
Yeah.
You just throw out the frozen bola, and then boom, someone is stunned. And that's, yeah. Also, the amount of single target CC that is available for Golden Guardians is pretty spooky for FlyQuest. And as long as Diamond is, or how should I say this? If FlyQuest can ensure that Diamond is there ready to devour someone out of that single target CC crowd, that is how you can deal with it from the side of Golden Guardians. But whoa, this is an aggressive invade, and
Yeah,
UG,
and Royalma's here.
all 4 members The rest of Diamond and Tomo, they're trying to close in on Golden Guardians, and Prismal is pushing Yuji off, so he can't even do the Raptors. Yuji is stunted in the first clear, and he's forced over to the top side of the map, but Diamond and Tomo have done a great job in resetting the red buff, so Acadian is forced to start at least on the Raptors.
Well, both junglers are going to be a little bit behind. We praise XU quite a bit for his ability to play at the level 1 in the early pathing. We'll have to look at where Acadian chooses to go next. But I think the point you're trying to get at is, I think this might be a QSS game for Diamond, right? Because he can save everybody else from the single target CC, the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, the Glacial Prison. Neither of them can have the same kind of effect on other characters because Diamond just eats them later on and denies some of the big engage tools that Golden Guardians have.
And because this is Senatom Kench, he'll have the economy to afford a QSS early on.
I don't know how early he wants to do it though, right? It is a pretty big gold sink, and there's a healthy amount of magic damage coming through, so it's not entirely a wasted gold, but I feel like you really need to have that front line that can function relatively early on. And so far, we are seeing that Ryoma, he gets the early ignite, and he is such an aggressive laner.
Oh, this is going to be a huge amount of damage already in a Spyrax. And just like that, the early laning phase where Spyrax had been getting the advantage and poke on the Ryoma, it's all turned around in one combo.
Yeah, Zoe, by the way, it is absolutely wild watching Zoe's just like win if they land everything, and sometimes even when they don't, when they just have a bunch of summoner spells to dance around. But we also have to look at the jungle, where we were saying that we were excited about XU, but Acadian not quite able to perform the same kind of brutal pathing that we saw previously in the day going up against Shaden, and instead clears out his jungle, but only does 4 camps and is looking to either do Krugs or go for a dive. This is a little bit late to actually make the dive happen.
Yeah, it was a cross-map set up by Acadian, but this first wave collapsing, Diamond and Tomo are able to clean it up. There's another wave that Array and Prismal are fighting to crash. You can already see Tomo and Diamond trying to clear out the wave as fast as possible, so the window for the dive is as short as possible. Acadian, if you want to make this happen, you gotta go now. Now, I think the window is passed.
Window's closed. Yuji actually coming out a little bit ahead in terms of where he is in the jungle pathing as he clears out plenty of Acadian's top side, and he even gets the Scuttle Crab, so he will be able to reset. Because his camps are spawning faster, he will come back and not be too upset about the fact that he has things to farm, whereas Acadian will take a little bit longer to clear it out, and that is exactly why Acadian coming back in order to get this timer before Yuji can deal with it.
And there's a ward on that courtesy of Ryoma or Spyrax here, so they know that Acadian comes right back for the second respawn of the chickens. I wonder if Acadian is going to do the brutalness of leaving only 1 chicken so that Yuji doesn't get the full respawn timer. He's just
very rude.
Yeah, he's relegated to the top side of the map right now, so we're still locked in the the vertical lane setup.
Yeah,
or vertical
jungling.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've used that term, to be honest. It hasn't happened that often.
Right. I mean, definitely not at this level of play. Most of the time you just see either they mirror each other and stay on the same side, or they're on opposite sides.
Oh, point blank route. Ryoma's going to force to use the flash more than likely. What? No way!
He's chilling. He's chilling. Not worried about it at all. At the same time, we're definitely seeing the FlyQuest lanes having a bit more success than they were previously, and Concept has to leave.
And Kumo gets the hyper proc down. One more auto attack. Does he dare to flash forward for the wall? Yes, he does! Kumo, first blood.
And he knows Concept has no flash, uses the ult to clear the wave. That is a huge difference from what we were seeing previously, where Concept was constantly threatening solo kills. Kumo is able to find it all on his own, and Concept, he's down. He's down a lot. He's down 18 CS. That's nearly 3 waves. He'll only recover 1 of them with his teleport.
And we know that whenever a Gnar can get ahead of a tank matchup super early on, it becomes so oppressive for the matchup on the tank side because you don't have any damage.
Oh.
And Spyrax was looking to punish. Ryoma that time is forced to flash.
As he gets on out, Ryoma will be... He'll be okay, right? Because he does have plenty of health, he can still threaten to hit Spyrax a bit later on, but neither side trying to find, or able to find a large lead just quite yet. And looking at the roster that Golden Guardians have kind of put together, we have a similar conversation that we were looking at with TSM and 100 Thieves, as Array is able to dodge out. There's not as many developmental pieces on either of these squads, right? Like, Concept is relatively new. Array is relatively new. Prismal, I guess, is in a new position. But you're surrounding them with Acadian and Ryoma, two players that you know have a lot of experience and are kind of these pieces that you put in place to make sure that your newer players are more comfortable as they come up.
And for the overall long-term plan of Golden Guardians, Leader is projected to come in next week, as we saw early in the tweet.
Plane tickets.
Plane tickets have been acquired. Las billeteras ya están comprados. So he is on his way, ladies and gentlemen.
Sí.
And with Leader coming in, that is going to be another experienced voice in the lineup. I imagine that if Golden Guardians want to put Leader, he's being developed, but in a different way, right? Where they're taking an import that they want to set him up for success in the LCS in the long run, starting him off in Academy so that he can get some reps in the NA ecosystem before he gets promoted.
And we'll always see, right? We look at these imports and we always have to ask, how much are we going to see them develop? How quickly will they move to the next level? Because, again, like, we look at players like Gamsu, we look at players like Luger. They went pretty quick.
Yeah. I think Luger, within one split, if I'm not mistaken, or 1 year?
I think he spent, yeah, it was 1 year. I think he spent 1 year in Academy before he moved on up. And as soon as he did, he's like, oh boy, this guy is pretty darn good. As Kumo, again, he's threatening fights onto Concept.
Checking him to half HP. We talked about it, and especially going for the Trinity Force as well. You have the extra movement speed from the Hearthbound Axe, the Sheen procs. It is just brutal.
Kumo, I mean, he's showing a lot of familiarity on this Gnar, and it definitely pays off when you are going up against a lot of champions that Concept plays, just because you are kind of safe into almost anything, right? Gnar has very few matchups that are just atrocious, especially ones that Concept plays, because he doesn't play things like the Irelia at all. He's not necessarily going to play characters like the Akali that are just going to jump on him and make it very difficult to play.
I think the only matchup that Concept has demonstrated that would have been extremely brutal would have been like a Nasus, but I don't think the Nasus would have enjoyed the rest of the landscape here. Whoa! Ryoma dodging out swiftly on the divide, hits him back with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and Acadian comes through the woodworks, firing back onto Yuji, gets the Heartbreaker out, he's out alive, but man, Golden Guardian's able to respond.
Ryoma, he's got the fingers, dude. He's so ready to go, Prismal, as he gets rooted up. We are still seeing, that's the third time Spyrex has tried to make that play happen, and the third time Ryoma's gotten out.
True Shot Barrage comes through. Diamond and Tomo, do they know that a Zoe is on the way? Diamond has already devoured them, but the root from Prismal locks him down. Abyssal Dive is forced to be used. Ryoma flashing forward, looking for Diamond. It's the Sleepy Trouble Bubble that sends him night, and for Tomo, he's forced to flash as well.
They get the heal, get out of there, but they're losing a lot of plates. This is going to be roughly even in terms of gold that goes back and forth between the two squads. So Ryoma, well, he had some fancy feet. It is going to be these plates that are picked up at Spyrex, even though he hasn't necessarily found the laning advantage all on his own. Ryoma punished for moving while his opponent had the Rift Herald. He comes down, and because Tahm Kench provides so much safety, only one person even goes down in this play.
Pretty miraculous for FlyQuest to get both of their laners, or at least one of their laners, to survive. But for Ryoma, this is where he is starting to come online and use the pressure of this Zoe. It was something that Cubby teased in their series yesterday, where there was an opportunity to pick something into the Azir that was taken away, but decided not to go with the Zoe. This time around, he's showing why he's comfortable in the matchup and what he can do when he is unlocked.
Yeah, when Ryoma is at his best, he is incredibly lane dominant. He is incredibly difficult to attack early on in the game, and we are starting to see why. When we saw Ryoma play up against Harry on Team Liquid, right? We know they're both very strong laners, and they were throwing shots at each other back and forth. Spyrex doesn't feel like he's quite been up to the task just quite yet. He's gone for 3 plays. Ryoma, every single time, has just been like, no, don't worry about it. I got this. Try again, buddy.
Ryoma, if he can keep up this pressure, this is a way that Golden Guardians can leverage themselves back into the game. Remember when we talked about the triple poke? Oh, Spyrex was looking for it once again. Ryoma forced a flash over the wall, gets some Paddle Star damage as a response back. But as we were saying before, Ryoma Array, and Prismal. This triple poke composition, if you can get into the pits and objectives first, you can force FlyQuest to retreat, and without surefire engage, it's hard for FlyQuest to reliably get in.
Oh,
that's a good flash from Array. Diamond on the chase, flashing forward, tongue lash, licks him down for the slow. Nowhere else to run. Array gets locked.
And Yuji, does he find this? He's very deep.
He transformed into Ezreal. Arcane shifted forward. You already called it. He's been... Oh! Heartbreak back forward. I think Prismal forgot that he still had the cooldown ready, and they are going for it. Diamond says, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's dive all the way deep into the Nexus. I love the limit testing. I love the flare. FlyQuest don't find Acadian on the back end, but they show and send the message.
Yeah, where has this FlyQuest been for the past several weeks, right? Looking to make plays, being very aggressive. Acadian tries to come around, but I mean, he stops it back. Did they get more than that?
Oh, good Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Ryoma about to hit him with a heavy dosage of NyQuil, but it forces Devour out of Diamond, and it gets FlyQuest out.
FlyQuest, so aggressive, very much feeling themselves, and Kumo coming around behind Concept. They just feel so confident, man. This is not what we've been expecting. I have to imagine this is something that has happened behind the scenes over what we've seen even just this week, right? Their coach has to be talking to them. Their coach has to be saying, guys, you're better than this. Let's show it. Let's start looking for a couple of these wild plays. Let's check the hands of a lot of people, and Soul Strikes is just looking to get FlyQuest to play this way the entire season.
Yuji knows Ryoma is waiting there in the wings. They know that he doesn't have flash. Good root from Tomo, locks him down. Ryoma is gone, and that gives FlyQuest now the window to go for the dragon.
Golden Guardians, I mean, they lose their mid laner. They can't go for this Cloud. They can't contest. They're trying to get some plates down in the bottom lane, but we're rapidly approaching a spot where Golden Guardians might just be too far behind to actually make anything happen, right? We were looking at Ryoma doing a good job. He's gotten jumped on 4 or 5 times when he's only gone down once. Sometimes that's all that you need because of the Rift Herald crash earlier. This turret, 4 plates peeled off of it. Spyrex might take it the whole thing.
And despite Ryoma winning out a majority of the trades against Spyrax, all the help and the resources alleviated from FlyQuest into Spyrax's pockets gives him the edge, allows him to scale into the mid and late game on this Azir. And meanwhile, the top side of the map, Kumo's just been straight up bullying Concept. He's been getting plates of his own right, absolutely no jungle attention needed. He forces Concept off. He's getting another tower for the side of FlyQuest, and this is a huge gold swing across the board.
That's everything, right? FlyQuest got an entire turret. That is 4,000 gold. They have 14 minutes, and Yuji's still looking for plays. Let's go!
Spyrax has flash as well. There it is! Flash, divide, good night Prismal, and now Kumo. This is going to be a little tricky. Hops out, dodges out on the Sleepy Trouble Bottle, but Acadian still has the audacious charge. Ryoma sends it back to the fountain. 3 dedicated from Golden Guardians for the trade on the top side.
Yeah, Kumo being a little bit more aggressive, right? He saw that there was no counterplay on the bottom side. He has to know he is the play. Overstays a little bit, but FlyQuest, they still very happy with the situation, right? They've gotten the top lane turret, they've gotten the mid lane turret. They're doing a ton of damage to the structure on the bottom side, while Golden Guardians will pick up a consolation prize in this Rift Herald. You use this to pick up the turrets. Golden Guardians have to get this extra tool to do what FlyQuest is doing on their own.
Yeah, 3 turrets already taken with only the use of 1 Rift Herald. The rest of the turrets fall just to the pressure and the lane prowess that FlyQuest have been able to demonstrate in the first opening 15 minutes. And so Golden Guardians are going to have to dig deep and rely on the brunt of their backline in Ryoma and Array to set up that poke composition, get FlyQuest chunked down and low before they get to the secondary dragons, and that is your window back into it.
And so what we're going to be looking at, right, is Golden Guardians. They have these poke tools, like you said. They need to get to these dragons first. They need to force FlyQuest to trick into them because their engage is okay, right? You have Tom Kench who can do it from Fog of War. You have Spyrax who can do it if he finds an angle, or you can just go if Golden Guardians give you opportunities.
Prismal still has flash. Might have to use it over the wall here. Oh, but the divide clips him. Prismal does not have enough time, and at that point, it's just no point in even trying to waste the summoner spell. And the Golden Guardians are starting to fall apart here in their decisiveness.
And one of the big things about this, Mark, that we haven't really looked at is because they've done such a good job playing all 3 lanes, because Kumo's finding solo kills, because Spyrex finally finding his plays, Tomo and Diamond setting things up.
Okay,
They
well,
can go
maybe
anywhere they
Ryoma can
want.
find something here. Sleepy Trouble Bubble lands, but good stuff from Diamond. Body blocking the Paddle Star. Not enough damage comes through onto Yuji. He's fine.
One of the important things to look at here is Tomo, when they contest these objectives, when he has the freedom to move out of the mid lane, out of a single lane, he gets so many more souls. He scales so much more quickly. Because he can go to every Raptors, right? That's 2-3 souls every time you take Raptors. It's 4 souls plus every time you go to Krugs.
That is a lot of damage on the Tomo, courtesy of Array's True Shot Barrage. But when he is the one that is doing the hitting, Josh, thanks to that Eclipse Power Spike already unlocked, Tomo is putting up a considerable amount of damage. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is landed on the Diamond, but he's still very tanky. Akadia still wants to test it. Crescent Guard has been popped. Blocks all the damage coming in from long range on FlyQuest side. But Kumo's about to go Mega. He wants to get in range. Golden Guardians have to respect that threat. You don't want to get caught up in this corridor when Kumo's about to get angry, because you wouldn't like him when he gets angry and he decides to wallop against the turret.
Yeah, just throwing down a lot of damage into the mid lane. This is allowing FlyQuest to get that chip damage down. They will back away at perfect time in order to get to the next dragon. So FlyQuest checking all the boxes, and Array trying to find his way in. Prismal stopping some backs a little bit, being annoying. But even if FlyQuest are a little bit late, Golden Guardians will have a large window with which to try and hit this dragon.
23 seconds before it spawns, you can try to sweep out some vision, but they haven't spotted the blue orb ward that was on the river banana bush there. And that is the only thing that is giving vision over to FlyQuest, letting them know that Golden Guardians are waiting for a trap.
FlyQuest are here in time. Stun lands on the concept. He should just hop the wall here in a moment.
Prismal finally finds the blue ward here. Concept will get a chance to... Okay, I guess they can't take it out. They're so scared of FlyQuest being able to lock him down. If this will dive, Knockup doesn't connect. It forces the Arctic Assault out of concept. This Rift Herald is going to take up the attention of FlyQuest, make sure they burn it down before they continue on with the chase. Array gets chunked below 50% HP, has teleport, channeling the reset right now. Forced to clear out the minion wave, and I think that's just enough time for FlyQuest to burn down this dragon, Josh.
Yeah, you see that tongue when Diamond got slept? Avril's probably having nightmares, gotta say. But it's another dragon that is getting picked up right now by FlyQuest. 5,000 gold already. I'm just saying, man. I call it like I see him, but FlyQuest, they get the neutral objectives. They are in the jungle. Acadian, his farm has been even thus far, but where is he going to farm when FlyQuest have this full court press like this, Mark? They're not going to be able to do anything, and Tomo going to start hitting this structure as well. It won't take too long for FlyQuest to grab it.
Oh, God!
Oh, no!
Array is just like, guys, please help. I'm just an Ezreal. I don't have that good wave clear skills quite yet outside of True Shot Barrage. Kumo almost clipping Acadian with the Mega Gnar. Gets the flash out of the jungler for Golden Guardians. It's going to be another few minutes before the dragon spawns, but FlyQuest, as you called it out, with the full core press, they are definitely pressing Golden Guardians out of the jungle quadrant, but Ryoma is on the left side of the fight. The Sleeping Trouble Bubble gets Spyrex super low with the Paddle Star, and Golden Guardians, do they want to continue the pursuit here? Ryoma picking up flashes thanks to Zoe, just things, right? Ryoma going forward, picks up another flash, has the flash away from the turret shot. Oh, no!
Sniper!
Tomo has the best emote game, really showing Ryoma, like, man, that was a little too far forward.
And as Golden Guardians, you're feeling the desperation. You gotta go for these crazy plays. Ryoma, we've seen that it's him this time, right? He's trying to make the plays, he's trying to go forward. But again, I feel like it's not really Ryoma's fault this game, right? You saw Concept got solo killed. He's down 60 CS. He's not been able to play. He's not been able to get in to any of these fights. The fights aren't starting for Golden Guardians. Array and Prismal weren't able to punish Tomo and Diamond. They actually have a situation where I'm sure Tomo is sitting on way too many souls at this point. And when FlyQuest are eating up both jungles, yeah, Acadian's just not strong enough to do anything.
Yeah,
81 souls. It's pretty good.
Budget kind of build at this point for Acadian. Yeah, he's got the Gore Drinker. He's trying to work up the Hex Drinker at the moment, but that item is not going to be coming in for quite some time, at least when it comes to the Maul of Malamortius. I don't even know if FlyQuest continue this rate of pace, I think FlyQuest will be able to close out the game in the next 5 minutes. Like, they might not even get to the point of Soul for Mountain, just because it is getting to the point where Golden Guardians, they already feel the desperation to claw their way back into this game, and we're not even at the point where FlyQuest, you know, would be threatening.
And FlyQuest, I mean, that's the 5th turret of the game that they've grabbed, and there's not an answer coming through from Golden Guardians. It's not a perfect game, right? But now Spyrax going to be trying to hit this top lane turret, and because he's gone for it so many times, every time that Ryoma goes forward, every time that Spyrax uses the E forward, Ryoma has to be careful. He has to assume that Spyrax is going to try and throw out the ultimate, try and go for something, because they don't have any vision control. They don't know what's happening.
They have to just use their long-range abilities and skill shots to poke their way into the jungle that once belonged to them, Josh, but it no longer belongs to them.
Belongs to FlyQuest, and Spyrax and Yuji, some of the rookies that we've been looking at for FlyQuest, definitely stepping up, right? Spyrax, it took them a long time, but eventually they found the one play that needed to happen in order to put Ryoma on the back foot. Yuji has been all over the map, constantly looking to make plays happen, and this is when FlyQuest looked their best, right?
FlyQuest, a confident FlyQuest is the best FlyQuest for sure. When they're the ones pressing forward for plays, good blue trinket spots out that FlyQuest are slowly starting up this Baron, so Golden Guardians have to walk in through the jungle quadrant. They know that at least 2 of them will not be there to face check them. The rest of FlyQuest peel off unbeknownst to the members of Golden Guardians. They're trying to lock down Diamond. Here comes Kumo. 2-man slam into the wall. Concept is taken alive. The rest of FlyQuest, do they want to pursue this? They would need more engage options, and they're running out of them. Huge damage from Ryoma. Almost gets taken out. FlyQuest not able to equalize.
Not quite enough for Golden Guardians, but they do get the 1 kill onto Concept. But FlyQuest, it's hard for them to do this Baron, right? They really need Spyrax to be hitting it. They really need Tomo to be hitting it. And now, with the 1 kill coming through, FlyQuest feel confident. They teleport everybody over here, and they should be able to burn this down. Golden Guardians immediately turning towards the Mountain Dragon to try and establish some presence there, because they don't feel as though they can walk in, as the DPS check is passed by FlyQuest. Do they go to fight the Dragon as well? No, they want to spend their gold.
Also clear out the minion waves in both the top and middle side of the map. Golden Guardians get to at least be content that the Mountain Soul won't be a condition that FlyQuest will reach anytime soon, or at least sooner than Golden Guardians, but this Baron buff, if FlyQuest find an advantageous fight, or if Golden Guardians bait themselves into desperately going too far forward, that could be game.
He's backdooring the mid lane.
Oh, this could be optimistic here, Concept. But he doesn't want to throw out the Glacial Prison quite yet, because he knows that Diamond could just swallow up Kumo and get him back to safety. He wants this engage to count. Kumo has been chunked out, sub 50% HP, doesn't have teleport anymore. So if he wants to rejoin the fight, he has to sustain up through other methods.
And he's not a jungler. He doesn't have the jungle privilege, Mark. How is he supposed to do that? FlyQuest, though, they got the rest of the map. They break open the base. You said 5-minute timer. We are well on track.
Tomo gets swallowed up by Diamond. Quick Devour saves his AD carry's life. The rest of Golden Guardians trying to defend through the mid lane. Inhibitor is about to be knocked on by FlyQuest. Spyrax knocking on the top Inhibitor tower respectively. Kumo scooping up Array. 1 stun, 1 brick into the wall of Array, and good night to the marksman of Golden Guardians. Acadian is able to trade back onto Kumo, but the damage has been done. Inhibitor is unlocked. It is torn apart, and the next one will follow in the top lane.
2 inhibitors going down for Golden Guardians. They will survive past the 5-minute mark. You said it, 1v1 minutes into the game, and they should be able to survive unless this fight goes awry.
2 inhibitors fall. Doesn't look like FlyQuest are going to press their luck any further, but that is damage enough to the base with Golden Guardians, where now they will have even a tougher time of leaving their base.
As they take away even more of the jungle. I'm actually very impressed from Acadian that he's keeping his farm numbers relevant, right?
Yeah, how is he doing that?
Yuji. I think he has to be taking a lot of the lane farm at this point, right? Concept is struggling in farm. Ryoma is starting to fall very far behind because they're just sharing money. They're just sharing resources, and Acadian's getting enough of them.
Yeah, that's one of the things about a triple poke composition. If you don't have supple wave clear on anyone else, and it's kind of hard.
Use the word supple.
Am I using it incorrectly?
No, I'm just very shocked because. Anyway, we'll get back to it. Spyrex going in.
Woo! Scoop to whoop. Spyrex finds Ryoma and Acadian. This could be it. The closing doors of Golden Guardians going down. Abyssal Dive finds the mark onto 2, and the rest of the FlyQuest just have to launch the minion waves through the bottom side of the map. 3 inhibitors will fall, and it could be the Nexus next.
Yeah, supple, for your edification, means bending and moving easily and gracefully, and that is what FlyQuest have done to Prismal and the rest of Golden Guardians this entire time. They're taking it, they're bending it, they're moving it easily and gracefully, and they're ending it now.
Oh, that's a good answer from Concept, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. You still have 4 equally strong carries on the side of FlyQuest who can just march down and just completely desecrate the Nexus towers and eventually the Nexus itself. But FlyQuest are going to pad their KDAs a little bit, look for a couple more kills onto Prismal respectively. Kuma with the stasis cancels out the damage, and FlyQuest sweep Golden Guardians.
Alright, Mark, we didn't get the Kiana, we didn't get the Zed, but this at least pay off a little bit. Was this worth it? Are you glad you came back?
Yeah, I'm glad I came back.
It's pretty good. This confident FlyQuest, this is what we're looking for, man.
FlyQuest, please, though. I really, really want to see a Zed or Kiana Yuji game. But we only saw Kiana games last split, and we always heard of the fabled Zed from his solo queue games. So and I know with the durability patch, it's probably harder to make it work now. But please, if you see an opportunity, please just do it.
We'll see. Well, there's plenty more opportunity to go. We still have the rest of the regular season. Proving Grounds is still coming up. But FlyQuest find their way back to 500, 13 and 13. Finding a couple of wins here over Golden Guardians who had kind of revamped themselves. They took a game off of Team Liquid earlier. But unfortunately for Golden Guardians, they fall 2-0 to FlyQuest. And we get to see later how much of their work trying to build up the more veteran part of the roster will allow some of their rookies to really take off.
And it will be the debut of Leader next week when he finally gets to play on stage with the rest of this Golden Guardian squad. And, just hoping the best for them as they can get the most out of the remaining 2 weeks before we get into the Proving Grounds season for summer. But that is all for us, at least for the casting side. When we come back from break, it is Sierra on the interview desk with FlyQuest Academy.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Verizon post-game interview. I am speaking with Tomo after that 2-0 win over Golden Guardians. And in the week off on a win is definitely nice, but there was a couple of struggles earlier on in the week. Talk me through what's been happening with FlyQuest after this break week.
During our break, we took a lot of days off because I think we all needed a mental reset. And I think it's actually helped us a lot because we're struggling before the break week. 2 weeks before the break week, I was pretty sick, so I didn't play my best, and the energy of the team was pretty low. So the mental reset really helped us, and I think we're still trying to find out what we're good at and how we can enable that with the team. Obviously, we didn't do too well this week, but I'm just happy we didn't get 0-6, honestly. But I think this week showed a lot of promise for us, just in practice, because this is probably our best week of practice ever. So honestly, I'm not too worried about the results because I know that come BG will be a pretty solid team.
I mean, I like that. The results don't really matter at the end of the day for Academy, so it's all about the progress. And on a personal note, are you feeling better?
Yeah, much better. I got yeah.
Oh, keep going. Sorry.
Oh, I got to have some fun with the boys at Disneyland, and we had a pool party and stuff, so it was pretty chill. Our break week was pretty refreshing.
Yeah, you weren't kidding about actually having a really good break week.
Oh yeah.
Is Disneyland your favorite part of the break, or?
Oh yeah, it was pretty fun. It was my first time going, so got to experience it.
Okay,
The
what was
lines were
your
really long,
favorite
but
part of Disneyland other than the lines? Because yeah, I've heard those are atrocious.
I like the Star Wars ride a lot. I think it was pretty entertaining and immersive, even though I've never watched Star Wars before. But I think the ride itself is like worth waiting in line for. It was like a 1 hour line or like 1 hour 30 wait.
Too bad. I've seen that the ride's been really cool, and I have to tell you, in my ears, as soon as you said the Star Wars line was your favorite, Rafa's yelling base, and as soon as you mentioned that you didn't see Star Wars, he redacted that so fast, like I've never heard. I have to agree with him. I am a little surprised. You gotta watch it, but we'll keep going on. So speaking of Rafa, he is all up on the FlyQuest hype train. He thinks that the team has a lot of promise, regardless of the result. Why should other people be out there looking for FlyQuest and looking for this promise?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you watch our spring performance to now, you'll notice that, we all pretty much leveled up. Like my solo lanes and my jungler is really insane. I think recently it's just been me and Diamond that have been underperforming, but I know that I could play at a high level. So if you just wait till Proving Grounds, I think we'll be a top contender.
Okay. But it all on the line where it matters in Proving Grounds. I see you. So then you're talking about your own improvements as well. And in this whole League of Legends sphere, there's some players that are really particularly known for certain things or leave some sort of legacy. What is it that you want to be known for in this game and in this space?
I think obviously I want to be known as a really good and consistent AD carry. I think I'm really inconsistent right now, but I'm working on it, and I know that I can be really good in the future.
Okay. And then final thing before I let you go, if all of a sudden tomorrow you found yourself waking up on the balance team over at Riot for League of Legends, you get to affect the game. What is one big change that you would like to make in terms of like the champions or any gameplay thing going on?
I'd remove Yumi or like change Yumi's kit so she can't like hop into people and just get it like do nothing and win the game. I think I'd make Yumi more interactive to play against.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah,
I like
hate
to call
Yumi.
her I think she's so cute. I just wish she did more. So I'm all with you on that one. Anything else you'd like to say? Any shout outs before I let you go?
I guess shout out to my analyst, Loyota, because he came to visit us for like a week because we were struggling for a bit, and I think his presence really elevated us as well.
Glad to hear it. Well, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. Have a great rest of your night.
Yep. So.
Thank you. All right. Back over to the analyst desk. A couple things that I want to discuss, and I'm putting the whole game aside, everything else aside. Who in this day and age hasn't seen Star Wars? Wow.
Tomo, apparently.
Wow.
Happens, man. Kangas hasn't seen some other iconic shows either, so,
That's what you get when you're homeschooled, Kangas.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's not even, I mean, it's just true. He's one of the best guys I've ever known. He just happens to be homeschooled. He needs to go watch some, social media. Not social media, but he needs to go watch, real movies at some point,
Yeah, he needs to...
He needs to go talk to people. Get a life.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Who needs a life when you got guns, dude?
True. All the picking up of rocks and stuff. Now we know where that comes from.
Swinging hammers onto tires, man. The workout routine is pretty insane, I will say.
Anyway.
Kangas, we love you. Please don't come for us. All right. Well, back to League of Legends now. And back to our show to close things up. We do have to talk about our Samsung Fast 5 for the last couple of days. I always think these are really interesting because, I don't know, it's just cool to see. Even just down at the bottom, Powery, 4 minutes faster to 10K than anyone else. I mean, there's some stats. Look, fastest mythic idol for copy, 2 minutes, 3 minutes faster. I can't math. Some good stuff.
remember that these numbers that we're seeing come through for the Samsung Fast 5 are based on what has happened previously in the week. So it is Wednesday and Thursday that we're seeing these numbers come from. And I think kind of the big one that stands out to me, right, is JJ with an incredibly fast fastest item transform for the support, making sure he can get those wards up very, very quickly, and so much faster, right? He's got a decent gap, about 40 seconds between him and Ayla, and then 2 minutes between Ayla and Breezy.
Yeah. It's I always get blown away with these because I don't know the talent that we have here and just how fast these things do. Sometimes I don't even fully understand how they can get it done so fast, but no, you do, you guys. You're doing good. Yeah, that's about it. Rafa's just oddly quiet for this, which is a little out of character. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm kind of struggling here.
Well, I was kind of admiring the amount of Dignitas that I'm seeing across the board here. Hoon, fastest 100 CS, at least 3rd place, behind Concept and Vital. XU, fastest level 6, behind Chad and Armeo. Spawn, fastest 10k gold 3rd. And then, of course, as Josh already highlighted, JJ. That just means Insanity is kind of slacking in the fastest mythic item. Come on, man. Pick it up!
Almost got a whole 5 squad on the Samsung Fast 5, but we'll have to wait for another week to see if somebody can do it.
You're gonna have to talk to them, Rafa. This is unacceptable. You hear?
That's what I'm saying, Sierra. Yeah, I'm here.
Unreal. Unreal. All right. Well, it's definitely been a fun day, and it's time to start closing things out. I mean, it was a fun day as well across both channels. I mean, of course, we didn't get to watch what was happening down over on the other stream, but we get to see now. Team Liquid 2-0 in Immortals. I'm not necessarily too surprised by that one. It is Team Liquid. And then a tied series for Evil Geniuses and CLG.
Now, I did get to see bits and pieces of the Evil Geniuses versus CLG, and I'm actually very shocked that it's not a 2-0 from Evil Geniuses, because when I tuned out from watching Evil Geniuses versus CLG, it looked like Evil Geniuses in Game 1 were on the verge of beating CLG there. So it sounds like Evil Geniuses have really figured out a lot of things this week after their break and have come back with a bit of a vengeance.
And I think even there are some moments of brilliance for EG in this week, even in some of their losses. I know the series against Dignitas, Game 1 was incredibly close and required Spawn and XU really stepping up to the plate on the Bel'Veth, respectively, as well. But Evil Geniuses, I think Sturdy is getting to show why he is someone that has to be respected as a top laner, and I know he has high expectations for himself. He said in his tweet that he considers himself the second best top laner behind what I imagine everyone says Tenacity. But you know, that's you saying, yeah, I'm better than Darshan, I'm better than Bradley. And that's a difficult thing to muster up to. But if Suri continues playing and he still finds advantages where he did find a lot of solo kills that Evil Geniuses unfortunately weren't able to build off of, but if they can find ways to translate it, then EG, we've talked about this roster so many times that on paper, it has the potential to swing forward and have the momentum to be a at least middle of the pack team. It just comes down to getting the team to synergize and play on the same page.
Yeah, well, every team reacting to the break week a little differently. Some came out of the gate flying. A couple of other teams took that mental reset, and even with some losses, seeing some improvement and looking to hit the ground running next week, which got the schedule for that. But I mean, it'll only be 2 games, so they get their break, and then they get to come back and only do a couple. So week 6, day 1. I'm trying to eye through this real fast. Instantly, I'm looking at the bottom, actually. TL up against FlyQuest. Sure, FlyQuest went 2-4 for the week, but Tomo talking about these improvements, I feel like that one would be really fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely been seeing that FlyQuest has had a bit of a rough stretch through here, but taking down Golden Guardians right now gives us a little bit of hope. Going up against Team Liquid, that is a much taller task, and it makes me look at 100 Thieves versus CLG. Because I said that I think there are 3 teams that can really punish 100 Thieves early games, and they are Cloud9, Team Liquid, and CLG. And if CLG can take this down, it really puts them and elevates them. Instead of being what I think is currently our 4th best team, can really put them in contention as potentially even better.
Yeah, Rafa, is there anything else, anything in particular that you have your eyes on? I know that you always like the Dignitas games here.
I mean, Golden Guardians are still trying to struggle with their footing, and they're going to have leader coming in. So I have high expectations that Dignitas should continue demonstrating this momentum that they have going forward after their loss against CLG on the first day of our Super Week. And, you know, to be fair, Dignitas were very, very close of closing out their series today. But, you know, just a couple things fell by the wayside in the late game, and it shows that Dignitas still have growing pains to go through. But I'm genuinely impressed with that Dignitas still going from the expectations of their spring split roster, which a lot of the broadcast team had at 10th, and they are now vying for top 5, definitely, and could break for top 4, maybe top 3.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. I'm excited to see that leader is coming in for Golden Guardians. I know there's always adjustment periods, but considering that's been a missing piece of the puzzle for a long time, I am excited to see how that's going to fare in the grand ecosystem of things. But that is all for next week, and we're at the end of time for today. It has been a lot of fun, especially thank you to both of you. It has been a great time, even if there's been a couple of facepalm moments from both of you. Joshi, thank you so much, production, for being absolutely amazing. Huge shout outs to Kelsey. You are the best. Thank you to the sponsors, and of course, thank you to the viewers for watching. Make sure to tune in for week 6 for more LCS Academy action. But until then, we hope you have a great night and good luck in your ranked games.